It's 7:01, Maria. Should we
It
kick it
is.
off?
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the already 10 people who did not make excuses. I know today the weather is a bit darker, it feels a bit weird, you can feel the winter is here, but you guys still made it. The others are dropping in step by step. We're super excited to have Gabor here. Maria and I, we gave a speech more than a year ago. It was
Yes.
called an 8-night presentation, 5 minutes, and the slides were kind of like automated. And this is where we met amazing Gabor. So we're super excited to have Gabor here with us. He also finally made it back to Shanghai. So yeah, Maria, what else should we say?
Well, before kicking in with fantastic Gabor's speech, which is about diversity and motivation, which I'm really, really interested in, I just wanted to point out a couple of things for you guys. First, if you are just joining and you're not in the WeChat group, do scan the QR code. That's me. I'll pull you in all our WeChat group. On the slide, you can also see our fantastic December lineup. We have very, very, very good topics and extremely good speakers. So do check that out. We'll send all the information in the WeChat group. And a couple of things that we want to say: Monday Morning Motivation, the webinars were always going to be for free. If you guys want to donate, we do give half of the profit to 1 Million Tree Project. And they do help plant trees in Inner Mongolia. So that's a very good project that we're very happy to participate in. Also, if you
We're actually about
yeah.
We're about to send another roughly 2,000 RMB to the 1 Million Tree Project within the next few days.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you missed any of the webinars, that's the recording, QR code, and Janine, want to plug the book?
Yes, we got new bilingual books that it just arrived in the office on Saturday. So if you're still looking for a Christmas present or just a nice gift for your friends, your family, yourself, we have motivational quotes in here, great reflections and exercises for every day of your life in a year. And you can always repeat it.
Yes. And for those of you who are in Shanghai and do want to get a copy of the book in person, on Thursday, we're going to be at Rink for a very, very fun evening, like networking. No speeches, no workshops. It's just drinks, food, and for who wants, they can skate. So just kind of QR code. I'm super excited. I'm very excited.
I'm like super excited. I always wanted to go there. So finally, network. And also, we're going to be in Beijing next week for everyone who's in Beijing. We'll keep you posted on that. Okay, absolutely. Enough talking from us. I would say, Gabor, this stage is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And after 20 minutes, guys, you can ask Gabor lots of questions. Take advantage of him. He is amazing.
Let's see if I take it to 20 minutes, because I would like to use the time for interaction as much as I can. Sure. And then first question, can you hear me well? Okay.
Perfect, yes.
I will use this chat box to ask you questions while I'm speaking. So please get ready, warm up if you are not warmed up yet. Let me just very briefly introduce myself, because many of you don't know me, although yesterday night I got a couple of texts from people who do know me and wanted to join this call. So some people already know me. But my name is Gabor Holch. And by profession, I'm a management consultant specialized in intercultural leadership. So most of the time I work with the leaders of large companies to lead teams and work with each other across cultural boundaries, which most of the time we think is national boundaries. But of course, there are lots of other ways that cultures can differ from each other, either inside countries, but also men and women, rich and poor, old and young, salespeople with manufacturing people, and lots of others. So by birth, I'm Hungarian. I spent about half of my life in Hungary, typically the early half. But I also was an expat kid, so I spent my childhood in a couple of places, and that's where my interest in intercultural existence and expat existence comes from, and that's what led me to this job that I am doing. And I came to China in 2002, having left an early diplomatic career. So I studied social sciences, then diplomacy. I was bored as a diplomat. I quit, I came to China, and I have been in China ever since 2002. And the company that I founded, Company Management Consulting, I founded it in 2005 during the big build up to the Olympics and the Expo in China. Very different times, but this is not why we are here. So what we are going to do is, I don't know, Janine and Maria, typically people join one call or people join both calls?
We have both. A few people
Okay.
will join both calls, but most of them just one.
All right. So for those people who can join both calls, I will make the two slightly different. The first one is going to be focused on individual motivation. The second one is going to be focused on motivation at work. They are connected with each other, but they are not going to be the same. So I would like to start the first part with a question to you, and I am looking at the chat box that you can find somewhere at the bottom or the right side of the screen, depending on your edition of Zoom. Imagine yourself in the following situation. Imagine yourself in the middle of your workday, something like early afternoon or 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. or something like that. And imagine that you have been doing something for the last 45 minutes to 1 hour that was annoying, boring, and generally made you lose your faith in what you're doing a little bit. So a very boring meeting where the boss was criticizing everybody, or you found out that what you did was rubbish and the project collapsed, and the client is threatening to pull their support from the business. Imagine something like this. And then imagine that immediately now, in let's say less than 20 minutes, you are supposed to make a professional appearance. I don't know what you do. So that could be that you're a teacher and you have to step in front of your students. That can be that you are a manager and you have another meeting. That can happen that you're in retail or F&B and you are supposed to serve a bunch of very important guests. But imagine that you have to be your best self. You have to be high energy. You have to be a firecracker, not only for those other people, but also for yourself. You have to get that internal glow back. But you have 15 to 20 minutes alone in a space where you can usually breathe a little bit and you are usually not disturbed. So my question is, how do you, no, don't answer the question yet. So here is the way I want you to answer the question. I will give you exactly 1 minute. During that 1 minute, I would like to ask you to do the following. Use the chat box. Type in the answer to the question I'm asking you, but don't hit send. Don't click enter. Wait until I say now, because I don't want you to influence each other. Is that okay? So the question is, you are there, you have 15 to 20 minutes, you have to get your internal glow, your passion back. What activity do you do during those 15 to 20 minutes? So go ahead, type in, don't send it. Keep it to yourself until I say now, which is going to be in 45 seconds. Type in, not more than 4 words, some activity which has or hasn't anything to do with your job. You're alone. You have to get your mojo back. The chat box is empty, and that's the way it's supposed to be for another 15 seconds. And then very shortly, everybody will send their answers at the same time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Okay, excellent. Somebody will sleep for free. That's what you call a power nap. Okay, so over the years, I played this with lots of people, starting from school children up to vice presidents and CEOs. And it's always amazing how different it is that people, the process of getting back your not just inner peace and inner energy, but also your belief in yourself and other people. Now, look at how different they are. And in some cases, they could be the complete opposite of each other. Look at how some people want to get away from that task mentally that they have to do. Listen to music, get a cup of tea, even sleeping, which is getting away from everything. And look at how some other people plan. They go ahead and plan. So there was more than one of these answers that flashed in front of me. So then they would go a little bit deeper into this task. They would want to make sure that they step into that room prepared. And this is how we are very different from each other. So there is a gentleman called Michael Csikszentmihalyi, who wrote a book called Flow. And he says that there is too little and too much of everything in life for every single person. There is too much, let me see, too much stress. You cannot perform. Too little stress when you are bored, like I was when I was working for the UN, as I told you. There is too much social interaction, which confuses you. There is so little interaction that you get depressed. There is so much money that ruins your life. There is too little money so that you cannot survive. And in everything else, there is too much and too little. And the question is, when you lose your motivation, when you don't feel yourself, how do you re-establish this balance? Because this balance is completely different for each of us. So for some of us, we need more interaction, and let's say we need to call a friend or text a friend or even just imagine a friend. For some of us, we want to be completely alone, headphones on, eyes closed, deep breathing, whatever you want to do. For some people, there is too much exposure to the next task, so you want to get away from. For some people, there is too little exposure for the next task. They don't feel prepared, so they want to make sure that they plan everything. So this is how we are different from each other. Too much and too little of everything. But it's very difficult to keep that in mind. So most people know what is enough interaction, what is enough order, what is enough surprise, what is enough pressure, psychological pressure. But you cannot just sit down and say, all right, I have to relax. So I need, let's say, 1 out of 10 social interaction, 3 out of 10 pressure. It's not like that. It's more like you more or less know which kind of person you are. And that's why I like working with the system that you can see behind me. And some of you already know this system. If you have questions about it, I can show you the chart later on. You know what? I will show you the chart now. These are the 4, can you see, I mean, even if you just nod your head, if you can see my slide. So people have been using these 4 types for a very long time. Actually, it's an over 2,000-year-old system. Depending on how you want to prepare for that next task and how you want to face the world in a confident way, you will do different things to regain the value that is most important to you. So if you are a hands-on, fairly dominant, competitive kind of person who likes to take risks and win big, you are going to try to gain back control. That's when you, for example, somebody said power pose, you know, like the Superman or Superwoman pose that they teach you at NLP trainings. That is a typical power posture. Planning is to some extent a power mechanism as well. But some people would warm up, some people would look at the mirror and do some self-talk. If you are the inspiring type, then very often you would just do something that would energize you, something that would warm you up. And that's why some people do some kind of activity. It could be even exercise. It could be a walk, coffee and tea, caffeine, the internal kind of warming up. That's also typical for people who come from the inspire, the high energy, the high attention. Although low attention span type out of the 4. The S type, the calm type, the serving type, when you lose passion, when you lose faith, then you usually lose faith in yourself and your interaction with other people. So you need calm, you need harmony, you need something to restore that kind of inner peace. Music, for example, is one of them. Deep breathing is very often one of them. Looking at something that calms you, like looking at nature, which is quite hard to do in Shanghai, but still in some places, there are even people I know who have screensavers with beautiful landscapes. And then finally, you have the competence type, the low risk type. People whose primary style is the competence style, they need predictability, they need to feel safe, so they prepare. They want to restore order. They want to create order around them and in their head. So preparation, that is. And over the years when I played this game, so to speak, I heard fairly typical things. I mean, music and coffee and deep breathing is, I would say, it's fairly typical. Also having a quick meeting with my team, calling a good friend, watching a video by my guru, you know, it is also something that people do. But whatever your style is, don't be afraid of it, because whatever makes you feel energized. I once did this exercise in a large consulting company, Ernst & Young, to be specific. And one of the vice presidents in my training said, I staple stuff when I want to get my energy back. And I can perfectly imagine it on stapling, you know, Ding Shu Qi. Because I can perfectly imagine on one hand it's physical, so you can get rid of that dark energy. And then on the other hand, it creates order. It puts things back in line. So if you are that kind of personality, I can perfectly imagine that it helps. Now, what are the, I promised you, what are the mistakes that we make when we are trying to get our motivation back? Number one, people around us are energized by things that we are not energized by, or even that tire us. If you catch yourself in this kind of situation, so for example, at the weekend, your friends go out to spinning classes, but that really doesn't do it for you. One mistake that you can make is that you ask yourself the question, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be energized by those things? Or your friend invites you to say, you know what's the best way to relax after work? A book club. Then you go there, you sit there, and after 15 minutes, like, what am I doing here? You know, people are sitting around not even reading, but just talking about reading. So don't ask yourself what's wrong with you. What's wrong with you is a little bit like as if you were wearing your friend's clothes and they were the wrong size. You're just a different structure of mind and soul. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Start observing what it is that you usually instinctively want to do when you want to get your energy back. And of course, the other mistake is that you copy the inspirational methods of other people and push yourself because you want to push through a kind of bottleneck. And frankly speaking, there are many ways to do damage to your motivation this way. But the best one is to force yourself to do something physical that doesn't inspire you. All my family is quite athletic. I mean, one of the reasons why I came to China is because I study martial arts. I have studied it for over 30 years now. But I know so many people who want to do sports just because everybody else wants to do sports, but it really doesn't do it for them. And it's not just that it's not going to help them to be more successful in life and happier, but it's going to take away the energy that they would have for those things that they love doing, and they could gain their energy back. That could be meditation, that could be listening to music or playing music, that could be at their work, doing something that is more suitable for their character. So you want to get back your motivation, 15 minutes is enough, but listen to your heart, or if you are really confused, listen to somebody who knows you extremely well. So I would like to stop you here and see, in addition to everything you typed into the box, how does it sound right now? And I will follow the protocol that you follow here generally. So ask questions through the microphone if you would like to ask questions by the text box. I really look forward to Janine and Maria's comments as well. We still have a couple of minutes left.